Hey, what's up interwebs? I'm that toy guy, and today I'm going to be doing another one of those then and now videos comparing the first iteration of a figure to the last iteration of said figure, and this time it's going to be on the Voyager Ironhide from the movieverse. So let's take a look at them both. So here are both movie Ironhides in their truck modes, and both of them turn into a GMC top kick, which is not sold here in Canada, but I think parts of it were made here anyways. Both of them are similarly sized, the Dark of the Moon one, which is from 2011, being smaller because of the mech tech weapon thing, which was stupid. And just to point out before I start this off, the 2011 Ironhide I will be using is the G1 recolored version, because that was the only one I could get a hold of, and that's the one I really wanted because the colors look a lot nicer. So without further ado, let's get into the 2007 version. 2007 movie Ironhide turns into a black GMC top kick from the year 2007 and is quite a big Voyager figure. Unfortunately, his truck bed has nowhere to store anything due to the whole automorph thing, which is not very fun. And the weapon storage is kind of blatantly just there. It just kind of hangs out underneath. But overall, the truck mode does look very accurate with the 4x4 logos and the GMC logo on the front. You got some nice silver paint apps on the front of it, along with the fog lights painted in orange, which is a very nice touch. The side view mirrors are done very well, and the windshields are all clear. So overall, this Voyager's truck mode is pretty good, and is a lot better than what we get nowadays anyways. 2011 movie Ironhide is a smaller Voyager figure, but a brand new mold. The reason why it's smaller is because Hasbro had to take some of the budget out of the toy to put into the mech tech weapon, which is kind of stupid on this figure, which is why I don't have it. The figure does look nice, although mine doesn't hold together very well. That's just due to it being a used toy, so the previous owner played with it a lot, which is also very good. You got some nice windshield paint, and the painting down the side is very nice. Now on the regular black version it would just be all black, but that's also very accurate to the original counterpart. He does have room in his bed, however, to store things, with a bunch of mech tech ports all over him, and an Autobot logo on the front for good measure. So overall, I think this truck mode also is very nice and compares pretty well to the original from 2011. Sorry, 2017. You idiot! My bad, 2007. Transformations on both figures could not be more different from one another. You start off with the 2007 one by removing the weapons, which you would do if you had the weapons for the 2011 one. But other than that, that's about it for similarity's sake. The legs transform completely different from each other, with the automorph on 2007 and regular transformation techniques on the 2011 version. The front end of the 2007 version, however, in robot mode is very, very floppy because there isn't really a way to tab it in. Fortunately, 2011 fixed that with the chest design you will see here in a second. 2007's version, also all of the black plastic does kind of make it a little difficult to see what you're doing if you're transforming it from maybe the first or second time. The Dark of the Moon regular release version fixes that with little hints of blue and gold accents all throughout the figure. Helps break up that black aesthetic that you see throughout the entire thing. The arms on my copy of the 2007 Voyager mold for some reason are very odd, where one shoulder is ratcheted and one is not, and this was a brand new figure when I bought it at Fan Expo. So it's kind of weird. And the shoulder joints on 2011's Ironhide are also very odd, where they do not move forward and back, so that does make it a little difficult when you get to transforming the arms, because they bump into things a lot. But the chest and upper body section as a whole is done a lot better on the 2011 version versus the 2007 due to the more compact and more refined transformation. The automorph gimmick on the 2007 version works pretty well. It doesn't get caught a lot like the other figures, say Bumblebee or Optimus Prime, but it's still an automorph gimmick. It's still there. It's still gonna have its hiccups. It doesn't. Sometimes the figure will not stand properly because of the way the gears work in the heels and feet. So that's kind of annoying. And the only really annoying bit on the Dark of the Moon figure's transformation is getting these wheels into the wheel arches, because mine tend to pop off. Thankfully they didn't pop off here, but mine do tend to pop off when transforming it. But the transformations for them are basically, they're pretty simple once you get the hang of it. 2007 movie Ironhide's robot mode, it's not bad. I mean, there are a lot of inaccuracies to it, but excuse me, take in mind this is the first movie, so these toys came off the back end of the Cybertron line, and we're starting the animated line. So there were a lot of different techniques and things used in designing this figure, and Hasbro was just trying to get some groundwork for movie aesthetics. The top part, where the platform where the head sits, is very large, a little too large for my liking. The arms are a little too skinny and stubby, and the legs are quite thick down at the bottom, so it does make it hard for him to stand in a natural sort of look. Other than that, the figure looks great. There's a lot of different mechanical details spread out. It's a very busy looking figure, which plays quite nicely into the design, and he doesn't fall over because his heel spurs are actually quite large, so that's quite nice to see here. The 2011 movie Ironhide's robot mode looks so much better though. You've got a lot more of a refined transformation that keeps all those little kibble bits more compressed and more compact into the body. He also does get taller when he transforms from truck to robot. Now the platform to which the head sits on here is a lot smaller and a lot more accurate to the movie. It doesn't stick out too far, it doesn't have things jutting out the side. The elbows with the added bits of the silver bumper there help extend them and make the arms look less spindly. The legs still do look kind of skinny with a little bit of a thickness at the bottom, but I feel this one's more accurate than the 2007 version. And he's also very sturdy and doesn't fall over. Articulation on both of them is actually quite different. Swivel head on the 2007, whereas 2011 has ball joint. Shoulders can both move in and out, but 2011's, as previously stated, cannot go forward and back. They both do not include waist joints, and the hip joints and leg joints are basically the same, except until you get to the knees, where 2011 has a double joint, and his feet can go forward and back, and he has a tilt, which is something the 2007 version did not come with due to its automorph gimmick. And just because 2007's guns are backwards compatible with 2011's figure. Unfortunately, on my copy, this arm just does not like to stay very well. Like that, it just falls off. So yeah, overall, both of these figures are definitely worth picking up. But if you do want to get just one, I would highly recommend you pick up the Dark of the Moon version, because that mold is just so much better than the original one. The original one is great because it's the original one, but it has its faults. It has the floppy shoulders, the one ratcheted shoulder for some reason. I don't know if that's just mine, but that's an issue. The automorph gimmick doesn't work most of the time. The transformation is very fiddly. There's a lot of panels. The weapons don't store very well, and there's no real other place to put them. So yeah, and you do lose the missiles very easily, because throughout this whole video I didn't have my missiles because they've all gone missing. The Dark of the Moon one, it's a lot better. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better. The feet transformation is much more simple and cohesive. There's no automorph to it. It's got more articulation. That thing with the shoulders still does bother me, but that is really my only major gripe. The rest of it does work pretty well. Oh yeah, and the weapon's terrible. If you do want to make the perfect version of Voyager Ironhide for yourself, I recommend buying the original Dark of the Moon version and getting the Revenge of the Fallen, I think it's Recon Ironhide, take his guns, his arm-mounted guns, and put them on Dark of the Moon Ironhide, and take his two large rifles and put them on his back. That'll give you the most accurate Dark of the Moon Ironhide you can possibly have. So yeah, that's my look at both figures individually. Hope this helps you in your quest to buy either or, because I didn't know which one was better. That's why I ended up picking both, and I would suggest you definitely go for the Dark of the Moon one. It is a lot better if you want a Voyager Ironhide. If you just want a good Ironhide, then get none of these. Get the deluxe. It's a lot better. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful, and I'm that toy guy, and stay tuned for my next video.